people? Welcome back to Nick J. Francis' channel. Arsenal just beat Spurs 2-0 at whatever their ground's called, the cock end, whatever it's called. I don't even care what their ground's called, bruv. At the end of the day, we beat them 2-0, and how dare these man call it a derby, bruv. They didn't even turn up. Do you know what I'm saying? That's going to be the excuse. That's going to be the narrative, bro. They're even going to be saying themselves on Twitter and on all these socials, we didn't turn up, we didn't play our best game, we had to help you. These men are dead food, bruv. When we beat them last season, the narrative was we only beat them because of Espirito Santo, and when they get Conte, it's all going to change. And we beat them twice this season. Our ground, your ground, home ground, away ground, any ground, blood. 5-a-side, 7-a-side, 11-a-side, women's team, any disabled team, elderly team, it don't matter, bruv. These men are dead, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And they just didn't turn up. They didn't turn up in any way, shape or form. The amount of people that I've seen put in Hugo Lloris over Aaron Ramsdale in combined 11s is crazy. And man is saying Aaron Ramsdale's got a mistake in him. Every goalkeeper in the history of the game makes mistakes. But it's, are you making consistent mistakes, and are you making mistakes in clutch moments? Hugo Lloris has cost them more points, actual points, than Aaron Ramsdale has cost us. Hugo Lloris has cost these man cups. Aaron Ramsdale hasn't cost us cups. So the comparison is crazy. Hugo Lloris has played very well for France with one of the best defences in the world of football, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't even know how these men call it a derby. These men are supposed to get motivated for this game. They're meant to look lively for this game. They ain't winning nothing this season. They're supposed to be looking at us thinking Arsenal might win the league. We need to stop them from winning the league. And they couldn't even do that, bruv. They couldn't even pop a little party popper, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? The most passion I saw was at the end when their fans tried to beef Aaron Ramsdale, bruv. And that's it. Do you know what I mean? And the little piece of fans that were beefing Aaron Ramsdale were the only little piece of fans that hadn't left the ground already. These men are joke, man, bruv. Next week we play Man United, and that's a proper derby. Do you know what I'm saying? And then we'll see what's what. Do you know what I'm saying? They're the only team that's beat us so far in the league, and that's going to be a real game of football. Do you know what I mean? These men are little, man, bruv. 2 goals Harry Kane needs to be the all-time goal scorer. I did nothing today. Nothing at all. We already know these men only play football for 45 minutes, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? These men play walk-in football. Son is anonymous, bruv. Bobby Valentino, anonymous, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Harry Kane's the other Bobby Valentino, slowing down, bruv. These men are not serious. Like, it was walking football. It was walking football. Like, these men are actually dead. Like, I don't understand this narrative. Like, normally, okay, cool, they can come from behind, they can do a thing. No, bro, not against us. Not against us. Do you know what I'm saying? There's too many men that could potentially be man of the match. In that first half, second half, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't as crisp, but in that first half, I think Martin Ødegaard could have been man of the match. Zinchenko could have been man of the match. Nketiah could have been man of the match. These men are just so poor. I don't understand what we're even looking at. I don't get it. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Their 2 best players. I'll give them credit. Let me be sensible. Their 2 best players were Kulusevski and Ryan Sessegnon. Based on, we did combined 11s before the game, but based on the performance now the game's done, like, the only 2 that could maybe chat to us would be Kulusevski and Sessegnon. The others are just irrelevant. Like, these men don't do anything. They're just bog standard players collecting a wage. Like, they're so dead, it's jarring. Do you know what I mean? But I ain't even going to worry about these, man. We are trying to march towards the league. And right now, we just need a Premier League winger and a Premier League centre mid to come in and bolster, because come March, we're going to have so many games. We just need to rotate. Do you know what I'm saying? We've got subs coming on late, but we need a bench where subs can come on a little bit earlier to take that pressure off. Credit to Sessegnon, credit to Kulusevski. He's trying to cut in with his left foot and trying to do something. And Sessegnon playing left wing back is the only guy really in any type of battle to try and get forward and make something happen. But apart from that, like, who are they? This Conte guy is meant to be the boogeyman. He's meant to be the guy that wins everything everywhere he goes, and he's the guy. And no, bro, like, what? It doesn't even make sense to me. Like, they're actually annoyed. They annoy me about how bad they are. I predicted that we would win 3-2. Do you know what I'm saying? My boy Alex predicted 2-0, and he said Ødegaard, Saka. I know it wasn't technically a Saka goal, but he got it spot on. I predicted 3-2. Because I actually predicted that these men were going to be better than they are. I personally respect Tottenham Hotspur more than their own players do. Their own players don't respect them. They didn't do nothing. Apart from trying to foul us, what else are you trying to do? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, man, they were telling me Romero gets into the Arsenal team. Where? How? 2015 maybe, not now. This is, like, some of the stuff that I'm hearing from these men don't even make sense. Do you know what I mean? Their best player is Sesson. He's not even a starter. It's just a mess. The whole thing's a mess. Like, do you know what I mean? The football that we played was so I don't want to say saucy, it was so controlled. Do you know what I'm saying? And actually, when you're playing a controlled football game, you don't need to be saucy. Sauce is for when you're in trouble and you have to get out of trouble. But when you're just playing a controlled game of football, it doesn't even need sauce. Alexander Zinchenko, yet again, putting in an unbelievable football masterclass. He's playing fullback and he's playing centre mid, and he just doesn't really make mistakes. So I think he made one mistake where he took a bug first touch and the ball rolled underneath. That's the only mistake for 90 minutes of football in North London derby. This was without Gabby Jesus. This is without Smith Rowe. This is without, apart from that, that's all our players. This is without Gabby Jesus and Smith Rowe that could come on, and they're two goal scorers for us. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was an own goal from Lloris, but it's always going to happen because we're going to be putting pressure on them. We're pressing. Martin Ødegaard, man of the match. Again, I keep looking for excuses to give somebody else man of the match, but this guy is too good. He does all of the passing and control that we get with a Mesut Ozil, but he presses and he tackles and he's a captain and he's vocal. Like, the guy just does everything. If you don't watch him week in, week out, you're doing yourself a disjustice because you are not watching pure football masterclasses, regardless of who you support. This Martin Ødegaard guy is not a real baller. He's so cold, like, it's insane. But also, like, away from the football, it's just the mental side of things. It's Eddie Nketiah coming in to start a North London derby, mentally there, physically battling. His finishing needs to be better. If Eddie Nketiah could finish a little bit better, we know actually, like I said before, he's a striker, but finishing is the worst part of his game. He can work on that. But if he could finish better, this is 4 or 5-0. Easy. If Gabby Jesus is on this pitch, this is 4 or 5-0. Easily. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and Eddie did so much. He couldn't finish his chances, which is why he's not getting man of the match from me, but he's in with a shout. But he's dropping back and making tackles. He's making a nuisance of himself. He's rolling his man. He's creating opportunities. You know, he's making runs and pointing where he wants the ball. He's doing everything right. Just needs to work on that finishing. Spurs were limp today. Like, Eddie Nketiah spinning man and running him behind, and there's they're playing 5 at the back. 5 at the back. Do you know what I mean? They've got Longley from Barcelona at the back. Eric Dyer's in the England team and Romero's a World Cup winner. That's their 3 centre-backs. And Nketiah doesn't look phased. He didn't get bodied. He didn't get bullied at all. They've got 3 apparently, like, top, not world-class, but top class. They're all internationals. Do you know what I'm saying? They've all played European top 5 leagues, Champions League semi-finals and World Cup finals and whatnot. These are meant to be 3 top centre-backs. And they look average, do you know what I'm saying? And they look average partly because they are average, but we will watch this Tottenham team, just like when we beat Brentford, we will watch this Tottenham team that we've just made look ordinary beat other people. People will watch us beat them and think that they are dead, and they are dead, but they're not as dead as people are going to make them out to be, because they are going to go and beat other teams and people are going to be scratching their heads saying how, but we are making them look more ordinary than they even are, if any of that makes any sense. Do you know what I'm saying? Mikel Arteta nice and composed. You know, the media is making such a narrative over Arteta and over this team. Everything that happens is there's going to be a narrative. Do you know what I'm saying? There's going to be a narrative no matter what. If we win the league, it's going to be other teams were falling away, Pep was in transition, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. And all of that is true. All of that is facts. All of that is true. But that is true anytime anybody wins the league. Whenever every season, someone's not at their best. Someone has an injury, blah, blah, blah. When Liverpool had 6 or 7 injuries and their first team was gone and they flopped, everyone is saying, deal with it, that's football, blah, 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 blah. So if we win the league this year, when other teams are in transition and whatever other thing they want to do, that's what it is for us as well. Do you know what I'm saying? When we weren't spending money, there was times when Arsene Wenger spending like 20 million in the summer transfer window. And man are like, oh, Arsenal's dead, blah, blah, blah. No one's taking into consideration the current status of the club, and nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? When it's us that's down, nobody cares. And when it's other people that's down, it's all relative and it's all this, that, and the third. Do you know what I'm saying? You add to this team, we missed out on Mudryk. I covered the Mudryk situation on DR Sports Media, so go and check that out. I might put a link in the description. At the end of the day, we missed out on Mudryk, but if we can get a decent Premier League level winger and a decent Premier League level centre mid, I believe that in this team, they can take a step up. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I believe it's the overall team that we've built where players can come here and look better. I've said it before, Mudryk will not look as good at Chelsea as he would look at Arsenal. He's not going to have Mikel Arteta. He's not going to have Martinelli and Saka to bounce off and grow with. He's not going to have Martin Ødegaard doing his thing and feeding him as much. It's not going to be the same. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it might be West London and wages and all the rest of it. All of that is irrelevant. Do you know what I mean? Now, all eyes on this Man United game. Do you know what I'm saying? They just beat Man City in a derby. and Man City have one of the most expensive. They're the two most expensive squads in the world anyway. So if anyone can't complain about Manchester City's money, it's Man United, because they spend bare money as well. They both got billion-dollar squads, but this is a derby. This is what people have wanted for such a long time. For Manchester United and Arsenal to be back on top. Football back where it should be, where it was when football was at its absolute greatest. That's where we're going back to. Man United, Arsenal, battling it out once again, and it means something. Back in the last few years when we've battled, it's been scraping for top 4 and Europa Leagues. Right now, the title could be on the line. Manchester United and Arsenal, what a game it's going to be next Sunday. Do you know what I'm saying? For me, man of the match, Martin Ødegaard, has to be. I want to be seeing the FA hitting these other teams with all types of sanctions for going to the ref and complaining, because that's all their man did today, and I understand because they're dead, they've got to complain, that's what it is. Do you know what I'm saying? But I just want everybody to be treated the same way that we are. Every time we do something well, it's a narrative, it's a narrative, it's a narrative, it's a narrative. We are in January and we've lost 1 game in the league. That's very good. Man, them really struggle to say, you guys are doing very good. They struggle, do you know what I'm saying? But that's what it is. That's what it is being an Arsenal fan. That's what it is being a man. I've been dealing with this for 30 years. I just tell myself in the mirror every day, you're handsome and you're successful and you're the guy. And you know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. You know what I mean? We have to gas ourselves up because we ain't getting no respect from anywhere. Man United will see you next Sunday, bruv. Spurs are dead.